Shin Hati. We knew she was coming in ARH8 because we specifically talked about it a couple weeks ago. But today, courtesy of, again, our friends over at ARH, I have the complete spoiler package for Shin Hati coming soon to Destiny tables near you. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Star Wars Destiny friends. Welcome back to Dice Commando and the Commando cast. Thanks for checking in here on your Destiny Friday, or whatever day you may be watching. But this is a super awesome one. I'm not going to say super special, because the special one's when we have folks on. This is a super awesome one, because we get to talk spoilers, specifically Shin Hati. You may notice I've got a new backdrop. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this one now that I'm looking at it while I'm shooting it. I like it, and I'm also really excited about this, and this is a hot fire package. So, that's right, not quite yet. You got to hang on for one more minute. This was specifically asked about when a couple weeks ago we had Kestis and Echo 3 on, and I asked, due to the timing of the set, are we going to be seeing stuff from Ahsoka? The answer was an unequivocal yes. We talked about Shin Hati, and look what they sent me for my spoiler package, and I'm pretty pumped about it. Yeah. And this is a spicy meatball, okay? Not just because the art looks amazing as it always does, but spicy meatball. So without further ado, we have Shin Hati, Force-sensitive mercenary. He's an 8/11 with 9 health. 8/11. Ooh! Ooh! Right there, I love it. All right, 1 melee, 2 melee, a resource. What? And then special blank. Piloting, character apprentice, piloting. Special, give a character 1 shield, or deal indirect damage to a component equal to the number of dice in any pool, showing a value of 0 to a maximum of 3. Okay, so when you look at this first off the bat, you're like, what? Piloting and melee, fair feedback. But what struck me right away is like, oh, she's doing the Inquisitor thing, except it's better than the Inquisitor thing because it's not just blanks. It's also value of 0. So your specials count. Their specials in general count because, again, it says any pool, right? And granted to a maximum of 3, but let's keep in mind, this is an 8/11 character. Okay, so there should be a whole bunch of things. I'm not trying to take away from this card. There should be a whole bunch of things going off in your head like, oh, Baylan Skoll. Oh, I wonder what he's going to be. Is he going to be a 19-point character? An 18-point character with a plot? Ooh! Because they're going to work together, right? Of course they are, because ARH always does an amazing job doing the canned stuff. And it doesn't mean that's the only option for Shin, because 8/11? Oh, man, there's options. There's options there. Okay, there's options there. And then the piloting thing is very interesting. So as opposed to the backdrop that I've done where she's doing the lightsaber thing, there was that really awesome scene where they did the fighting, which is where this is from, or the fighting. They always do the fighting in the Star Wars, but the space fight specifically. And that's where this art, the art on the card, I should say, is from. Character apprentice with piloting 8/11. Okay, so now let's go into the next part of the spoiler package, which will help make a little bit of sense, which is the RP82 Fiend Fighter. So it's a 2-drop, 1 gun, 2 indirect, disrupt, special for an indirect and a blank. After this vehicle, right, of course this vehicle, after this vehicle is piloted by Shin, you may turn a character die to a side showing a value of 0. Okay, that is really strong. You can blank somebody. It's a character die to a side showing a value of 0. You can blank somebody. You can turn yourself to special. That's so good. That is so good, right? And you have the option for which side you can use it on. And then the special itself is deal 2 damage to character, or 3 if there's a die showing a blank in any player's pool, not a value of 0. Okay, but again, it's any player. The utility, again, let's go back to Shin. Dice in any pool showing a value of. Blanks in any player's pool. The utility on these two are phenomenal. I mean, 1, 2, this is, you originally look at this side and you're like, but then you look at it and what the special does, and at a base level, It's 2 indirect, so what's that, like 1.6 or so? Yeah, I think it's about 1.7-ish, right? I mean, I usually value it about like 0.8, so it's like 1.6. So you have 1.6, a disrupt, which is slightly less, and then you have 2, and that's minimum, and then 2 for an indirect, so that's, 2 for an indirect, that's what, you do the balance there, right? Obviously with the 0.8, 1.2, it's a pretty good die, right? And that's assuming that you're not getting the extra out of the specials. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'm just saying just alone, right? And then obviously you put Shin on that, or in that, I guess would be the correct term since she's piloting it. It's a ship. Put Shin in that, then you're getting a flip. Either way, whether it's detrimental or advantageous, super good. Right, last part of this package is exploit weakness. So this is a 2-drop villain event. Well, this better be dang good. First off, the art on this is awesome. Like, super awesome, right? The way the lightsaber cuts across. So exploit weakness, 2-drop. Choose a player and turn 2 of their dice to sides showing a blank. Then you may choose a different player and resolve 1 of their dice as if it were showing a focus. That is interesting. I don't know that this is super great at 2, but again, you need to remember we haven't seen Baylan yet, right? If Baylan is something like a Dooku-esque vibe where there's things that happen when things happen, right? Like if you're flipping dice and he gets to do things, right? So we don't know the full package on this one. This one in a vacuum seems okay. It doesn't seem great yet, but it seems like it fits in a package. That's my take on it. So I think we're going to have jury out on this one. Two resources and a card for turning 2 things to a blank. Probably, mathematically, probably you'd rather do 1 to remove a die, which is kind of the going, 1 and a card to remove a die. That's the going rate. So clearly there's other things here, right? So I think we need to reserve judgment on this one until we see again the full. We've seen, the Shin Hati spoiler package, but there's likely the Baylan Scroll thing, and again, you get it. So first off, hopefully you've let me know in the comments. We've been going through this, what you're thinking, what synergies you're seeing with spoilers that may have released since I shot this and this is going live, that's a thing. It happens, right? So I think there's going to be, this is super awesome, right? I mean, not this. Sorry, the one on the screen right now is exploit weakness. Let me go back to Shin. She's an 8/11. That's very utility, right? And the fact that she's both sides, like she should be Shin utility Hati, Shin Hati utility Hati. I don't know. She's a utility Hati. Let's not go there. But you see where I'm going. This is very, very, very interesting. I'm not going to go out on a limb because we haven't seen the full set. I'm not going to go say this character's amazing. This character seems like it has the potential to be really, 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 really amazing. That's my take. And especially, you look at the ship and you're like, oh, well, pilot it with melee, but the ship doesn't have any modifiers or anything like that, right? It's its own individual die, and then there's special synergy on there. Seems pretty good. So anyway, I want to thank the folks over at ARH for not only continuing doing what they're doing, but for giving me the spoilers. It's awesome. At the very least, it made me sit down and make a new backdrop, which actually I really like. I'm definitely keeping this one around. Because I think we're going to see Shin on here a couple times, maybe in the next 2 years, as we run through the set's life cycle. So anyway, that'll do it for today. Again, happy Destiny Friday. Thanks for joining me, folks. If nothing else, go Commando.